Yes. The whole aspect of genetics starts with Johann Gregor Mendel, who was an Austrian. So Austria, Germany, neighboring countries, the love for German, the love for the Austrian or the German origin of genetics. And it started all with a very small experiment. A small experiment using the pea plant, Physon sativum, through which, of course, you know that Mendel had these three laws. He framed these three laws: the law of dominance, the law of segregation, and the law of independent assortment. If I were to ask you what all this means, we learned it in the 10th standard several years ago, but I am sure all of you would have forgotten.
It's not changed, it's become more difficult, so let's be clear.
As a matter of fact, it's simpler than it used to be in those days.
So then I think
Those
very
days,
good boys.
those days, you guys learned,
Much more.
and you understood what you learned. Today, guys, memorize.
Record one.
And then,
We do a lot of Googling.
No, we need to pay to our kids.
at the end of the day, they don't know really what they learned. You know? Whereas I'm sure military will remember. Sorry, his pet name used to be military. Bharati. Yeah. So he will remember those days when we learned something. We learned and we enjoyed learning. We went to the practical hall and we enjoyed doing practicals. Of course, we demanded the 50 out of 50, but then we enjoyed doing the practicals also. But today it's all very mechanical. You have the guide, you vomit what's in the guide and you get your full marks. Yeah? The times have changed. The syllabus is the same. The challenge is a lot more because the numbers have increased and the whole process of segregation or the survival of the fittest in terms of ability to cope with the environment around you has completely changed. So we don't want to talk about all that, but then talk about one of the heartbreaking discoveries of that century, and that is about Mendel and Mendelism. So what did Mendel do? He took two Physon plants, one which was tall and the other which was dwarf, and he crossed them. And the offspring, the first offspring that he got, was all tall. And he was wondering what happened to the short characteristic. Where did it go? So he took two of these and crossed them once again, and he found that 3/4 of the offspring were tall, while the remaining 1/4 were short. So he said this is also intriguing. He didn't know really what was happening. And at that time, the knowledge of genes, the knowledge of DNA was not available. The knowledge of DNA came only in the year 1953 with Watson and Crick. The knowledge of these factors or determinants, which later came to be called genes, was because of Mendel. Mendel said there are factors or determinants that are available in the plant, and these factors or determinants are the ones that are responsible for a particular character. And he said that one factor or determinant determined one character, one gene for one character. Today's world since we know much more about gene and about the structure of the gene, structure of the DNA, we know that there is the one gene, one enzyme hypothesis. One gene, one enzyme hypothesis. And today we know we have the Human Genome Project, which was led by J.D. Watson, and it got completed just a couple of years ago. And J.D. Watson was in India to announce the completion of the project also. So the whole story of genetics has changed. And today our children don't understand that much about genetics. They are not interested. What could we do to make people more interested in biology? I suppose it's not enough to watch Discovery or National Geographic, but to instill in them something that happens every day at home when we start with, let's say, cooking. The whole process of cooking, the kind of grams that are available, the kinds of cereals that are available. Give them hands-on training to understand that there are different types of wheat, different types of rice. And about the whole story of, the extinction of particular species. The natural species that are available, let's say in the Nilgiris, are slowly dying out, are getting extinct because of other strange species that have been introduced to these regions. In those days, there used to be a virgin forest, but then slowly people wanted to cultivate. And when they started cultivating, the local species started to die. And please no. What's that?
Measurement didn't come. I am the last.
Why are you late? But I know that all of you are of Indian origin and you all would like to do something of importance to India, to your mother country. Therefore, I think those of you who influence your children, tell them about the extent of biodiversity we have in India, the kinds of virgin forests we have in India, and the way in which they are being exploited for commercial purposes. This should stop. That they should understand that this small experiment, which happened several centuries ago, is a value even today. People speak about it even today. The reason being that we want to preserve nature. And if we don't preserve nature, I think our children's children will have no planet Earth left for them. Why do these species get extinct? These species get extinct primarily because of the fact that these foreign species which are being cultivated do not have the natural enemies. The natural enemies are not there, and therefore they thrive. They thrive at the cost of the local species. Now, when we introduce special breeding types or varieties of plants as well as animals, then we stand to lose some of the original native species. So these are things, I suppose, as grown-ups, we have to convey to our young people and tell them that biology is the science of the 21st century. It's not computer science, it's not physics, it's not chemistry, it's not mathematics that's going to do anything good for all of us. It is biology. Through biology we can prevent disease. Through biology we can feed the starving millions. Through biology, we can prevent wars from taking place. You may ask how? Yeah? Water. Biological weapons. The biological weapons can destroy. I do not know how many of you are specialists in these areas. I suppose there are some people here who are responsible for various activities around the globe. Yeah? But then, I'm sure that we are going to be responsible citizens and tell people around, spread the word around that these things have to happen and these things have to be completed in a particular phase or in a particular period of time. Failing which, all that we learn, all that we study, all that we are working for is going to be of no use. Okay? Yeah, so I have more or less completed what I wanted to tell you about genetics and a little bit of how genetics can help to improve our lives. I know that all of you are specialists in the process of understanding genetics. So I don't have to tell you anything more than this. So if you have anything to, say something, yeah, please.
Yeah. I'm no way a geneticist, I'm in the software field, but when you talked about the need to preserve the biological diversity, one thing came to mind. I thought I'd just comment on that. Is in a lot of Western countries, they segregate different places as national parks for sanctuaries, right? So that's one way to prevent any commercial development. So for example, there is Yosemite, which has huge granite reserves, but it's totally protected. So no quarries can go there. So like that, I think one of the things that is possible is to coordinate those areas as what are the national parks or something. So
yeah, the drawback in India is that India still is a developing country, and so we need resources. And so when we look for resources, we go to these places where things are available, and therefore we exploit it and sometimes overexploit it. So to cordon it off would make the industry weak. At the same time, allowing it to be overexploited will also make the country weak. Yeah? So America can afford it, but not so much India. We have to exploit our resources like granite or mica or whatever else. Yeah? Magnesite, bauxite, we have to strike a balance, for which we have to have the initiative of people who are in power, and all of you are in power.
Right.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make one comment, not connected with, just thinking of saying developing countries. 600 years back, India's share of the world GDP was 20%.
Yeah.
So $1 in $5 made around the world was from India. The answer is very similar for China. Now people who think history is 220 years think it's US and UK were developing, but they exploited resources in other parts of the colonization and so on.
Yeah.
So firstly, I think we should stop saying we are a developing country and we say we are a re-emerging economy, because the world order will finally land with India and China controlling 40% of the world GDP.
Yeah.
So I think we should just, so we should take out this thing that that we are an emerging country, third world country and so forth. And that sense of pride that we reassert our rightful place in world history is very important to our outlook for some of these problems.
Of course. You live in India?
No. Yes.
Very, very simple. Yeah, I think during the classes that I had here with you, I spent the best part of my life here. I started here in Moscow at age 22. I was just 22 years and I started here in Moscow, and then I survived 30 years. And I say survived 30 years because I suppose most of you know that I have never used violence, either in words or in action. Nothing. I was always dependent on the goodwill of my students, and I really enjoyed these years as a teacher. The reason for my leaving is that the challenge was over. I didn't have any further challenges because, as I said, times came when people just wanted to memorize, and when I spoke about biotechnology or this or that, they said, how many marks will I get, sir? I said, that's not for marks, I said. Today, I have students from biotechnology schools, and I asked them, do you know anything about Anand Chakrabarti? Oh, please, sir. He was a pioneer in biotechnology. They finished their masters in biotechnology and they don't know about Anand Chakrabarti. So the thing is, the accent or the direction has changed. People want to get marks. Get marks. That's it. That is the only goal. Knowledge has taken a back seat. And so I said, it's not anymore appealing to talk to heads which are interested in recording. If I were to start off and say, okay, this is the definition for genetics, okay, 2 marks, okay, write down 2 marks, okay, written down, memorize, and repeated in the examination. If this is the full stop and he gets half a mark less. So that's when I gave up school teaching. Then I started teaching people to speak, read, write, understand German. And with that, they go to Germany and use whatever they have learned. Okay? I'm sure most of you use the biology of German that you have learned in class here. Okay? I get feedback from some of you. I went to Germany, sir, I said, Guten Tag, Guten Morgen, and the Germans were very impressed and they asked me to class here. So such feedback I do get from some of you who visit Germany or who visit Germany on a frequent basis. So that makes me happy. And motivation comes from there, not from here. It's something, if you motivate me to do something, then I'm happy. So I feel happy the longer I am with pupils around me. Yeah. I think day without being inside a classroom here or anywhere else would be a day wasted for me. So that's how I look at my teaching. Teaching not so much as a job, but teaching as a calling, as a passion. So that's what keeps me happy, and I believe that as long as you are young people, you remain young also, young at heart, young in spirit. Yeah? So, do you know about Mickey Chops? Yes. Right? Where Where is Mickey Chops? Stand up. One hand here, keep abreast of what's happening. Yeah? He's a young man, he doesn't know that, and
He's married.
he's also. So we have to, like, one of the principles that father and founder Don Bosco spoke of was to love what the boys love. Love what the boys love. You have to be in tune, in sync with the ideas of people whom you are teaching. If you are out of sync, you have to think in terms of what they have done and oh yes. That is it. Yeah, so you have to be in sync with times, and to be in sync with times, you have to interact with young people. The more you interact with young people, you get to knowing their ego, their style of talk, and this and that, which was out, which was not in fashion in those years. So these are things that you get to learn, you keep enjoying day in and day out, and then that makes your life worth living. I don't know how it is in other professions, what you look forward in your profession, but in my profession as a teacher, I think being with young people is what gives me the greatest amount of satisfaction and happiness. Okay? I thank you all for it, because you have also given me that happiness in the days that you were here as students in this school. I remember the days when Suresh used to run away from the German class because he never wanted to speak German. And today he's speaking German to me. Okay. And Ashwin, you know Ashwin, he said, I know German. And then his mother used to come to the class parents' day every term and say, only German marks are bad.
The others are worse.
I also had the dubious distinction of having been miserly with the marks that I gave. I haven't changed anything. Everybody says I still am stingy with the marks that I give, wherever it is. So that's another complaint that I live with, and I'm living with also. But at the same time, it's just fun. It's happiness to be with students and also with young people. They keep you happy, keep you young. So I wish all of you all the best in the years to come, and I hope that there will be a 50th Jubilee reunion. We'll see who is available then.
So we only book you to teach.
Oh yes. 25 years.
Thank you, sir.
Arun,
Gopal.
Richard,
Niji.
yeah,
Vinod.
Mahesh,
Hemant.
Hemant Duga.
Suresh sir. MD Suresh.
James D'Souza. James D'Souza. You play the guitar. Joseph Max. Dinesh and Shivanand. Yeah, Manu.
Yeah.
Lobo.
Uday Reddy.
Robin. Vivek, yeah. Arun. Afzal.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you for your love and care. Okay, so I request Suresh to hand over a moment.
Thanks a lot to all of you.